Students, welcome for the next session of the topic microorganism friend and foe. In previous lecture we have studied about the introduction of microorganism, what are microorganisms, where they can found, what is the habitat of the microorganism, and how microorganisms are beneficial to human and harmful to human, what are the type of microorganism, and then we have started a new point, that is major groups of the microorganism. From that first group of microorganism we have studied is viruses. What we have studied about the virus is that what kind of organism is a virus, what are the type of viruses, animal virus, plant virus, bacteriophage, then what is the structure of the virus, and other unique characters that are shown by the viruses, that is living characters, non-living characters, and then we have studied about the viral diseases and so on. The next group of microorganisms that we are going to study is bacteria. So while talking about the bacteria, we will study all the characters of the bacteria, the way of reproduction of bacteria, shape and size of the bacteria, how bacteria can also be beneficial and harmful to the human being, and how it can reproduce, okay, and the habitat of the bacteria that we'll study. So first of all, I would like to tell you about bacteria. Is it is single cell organism. Single cell organism means the whole body of the bacteria is just a single cell, like this I've shown you in the image. This is only a single cell, and this single cell has all the machinery, or simply we can say the organs and the important things inside the cell that help to survive the organism and also to reproduce the organism. All the biochemical processes and living processes are done in a just single cell. So it is a single cell organism, and single cell organisms are prokaryotic type. Prokaryotic means the organism is not well developed, and that organism doesn't possess the closed nucleus into the cell, because higher organisms and eukaryotic organisms have the nucleus which is enclosed in the nuclear wall, but in case of bacteria the nucleus is absent, so it is called as prokaryotic organism or single cell organism. It is very simple type of organism, simplest organism, because it's just a single cell and all the biochemical processes occur in just one cell, so it is simple cell, simple organism. It belongs to Monera kingdom. It is a kingdom. Which kingdom? Monera. Yeah. There are three kingdoms mainly: kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia, and kingdom Monera. So these are the type of organism. Plantae belong to all plants. Then kingdom Animalia belongs to all animals, and kingdom Monera belongs to the microorganisms and especially bacteria. Okay, so all the bacteria are included in the Monera kingdom. So please understand, the kingdom Monera is for bacteria. Bacteria are simplest organisms. The next character about the bacteria is to study is the size of the bacteria is microscopic. Meaning, if you have to observe, if we want to observe the bacteria, we need a microscope, and only with the help of only with the help of microscope we are able to see the bacteria. So it is called as microscopic. Bacteria are microscopic. The size of the bacteria is 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer. It is so small that you can imagine that a 1 micrometer is so small that I can just explain you in the comparison of like this. 1 mm, 1 mm is what? 1 millimeter is equal to 1000 micrometers. 1 millimeter, just 1 millimeter of scale is equal to 1000 micrometers, and here the size of the bacteria is just 1 point, this 0.1 to 0.5 micrometers. So it is so small, they are microscopic, and they are only visualized by the help of microorganisms, microscopes. Okay, sorry, microscope. Yeah. So bacteria are microscopic, and shape of the bacteria. If we are talking about the shape of the bacteria, there are various shapes of the bacteria. Let me explain you one by one. First is cocci. Cocci is spherical, rod, this round, or simply we can say cocci is spherical, as I have shown you in the image, in the picture. Cocci is spherical bacteria or circular bacteria. If these circles are 2, then it is called as diplococci. If they are in chain more than 2 and in chain, then it is called as streptococci. And if they are 4 in number, close to each other, attached to each other, then they are termed as tetrad. And they are termed as tetrad. So cocci is spherical bacteria, circular bacteria. If it is single, it is a cocci. If it is double, it is diplococci. If it is in chain more than 2, then it is streptococci. If they are 4 in number, then they are called as tetrad. Then another shape of the bacteria is bacilli, or simply we can say bacillus. Bacillus means rod shape. Yes. Rod shape or bacilli. The shape, rod shape, I have represented over here in the diagram. So it is also called as bacilli or bacillus. Bacilli means single, bacillus means many. Then if the rod bacteria is in chain, then it is called as streptobacilli. They are more than 2 and in chain, so it is called as streptobacilli. Another shape of the bacteria is comma shape. Comma shape is just looking like a comma. Spirilla is a kind of bacteria. They have shape of spiral. They are spiral in nature. So they are called as spirilla. So this is all about the shape of the bacteria. There are various certain shapes and types of the shapes that can be seen in the bacteria. The next point that we are going to study is structure of the bacteria. As the bacteria is a single cell, it has a unique structure. So that we are going to study now. One by one, I will tell you the parts of the bacterial cell. Starting with the cell membrane. Cell membrane is the innermost covering of the bacteria, which is also called as plasma membrane. Cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane. Plasma membrane. So cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane, and which helps in the transportation of the material from inside the cell to outside and outside the cell to inside. Then the hard protective covering is called as cell wall, which gives proper shape to the bacteria, structure to the bacteria, and it gives strength to the bacteria. So it acts as a protective covering of the bacteria is called as cell wall. Then the another protective layer which is present at the outside of the bacteria. Sorry. Outer layer of the bacteria, outermost layer of the bacteria is called as capsule. So why capsule is present in the bacteria? It is a slimy, sticky substance and it forms the covering over the cell wall of the bacteria, which is produced by the bacteria itself, which act as a protective in nature, which is specially produced for protection. Means the chemicals and other bacteria which are harmful or which can kill this bacteria is protected by the capsule. Okay. So due to the presence of capsule, any drug, any chemical is not able to penetrate inside the bacteria, and in this way bacteria is protected. So capsule is also very important for protection. Then we'll talk about the villi. Villi is a hair-like structures on the bacteria. Villi. These are all villi. These are hair-like structures, and what is the use of villi is it is useful for adherence, to maintain the grip on the substances or the surfaces. So it helps to attach any surface and to maintain the grip on that surface. For that it needs the villi, hair-like structures. So that is the function of the villi, and whatever the grip is maintained by the bacteria on the surface, that is called as adherence. Yes, so that is the function of villi. Then this is the flagella. Flagella is a long tail-like structure, and what is the function of flagella? It is useful in the swimming. When bacteria is in the liquid state, it can swim and move from one place to another place with the help of flagella. It can rotate or move the flagella in a particular manner that will help to swim the bacteria. So the organelle is flagella. Next is the ribosome. They are just freely floating in the cytoplasm of the bacteria. The empty portion you can see over inside the bacteria is not empty portion. It is filled with the liquid matter, that is cytoplasm, and in that cytoplasm freely floating ribosomes can be seen. Yeah. And with the help of flagella, it can swim. Next thing I have told you about the ribosome. These ribosomes are freely floating in the cytoplasm of the bacteria, and ribosome. Function of the ribosome is what? They help in the protein production. They are involved in the protein production. Yes, bacteria also need the different kind of proteins for maintenance of the cell, for proper functioning of the cell. So ribosomes are present in the cytoplasm of the bacteria. Then the next, the coil-like structure you can see inside the bacteria is a nucleus. And what is the meaning of nucleus? It is a DNA. DNA nucleus is nothing but the genetic material. What is genetic material? Genetic material is the biological information of the living organism, which contains all the information about that organism, and depending upon that biological information the organism is produced, and also the further functioning of all the parts of the body, and growth and development of the body, and aging of the body, and then the death is all this information is present in the genetic material. So in the bacteria there is absence of nucleus because it's a single cell, and if nucleus is absent in the bacteria, then the type of genetic material present inside the bacteria is called as nucleoid. Yeah, so it is named as a nucleoid. Without nucleus, the genetic material is present in the cytoplasm, freely floating in the cytoplasm of the bacteria. So these are the various parts of the bacterial cell, and they are playing different functions. And what are the functions already I have explained. The next part we are going to study about the bacteria is nutrition. Yeah. If it is a living thing, it will need a nutrition for survival, growth and development. Yeah. So bacteria is heterotrophic. Means for food, it is always dependent on other organism. So it is called as heterotrophic organism. Always bacteria can feed upon the available organic matter and they can live or they can survive. How bacteria can have the food? Just they can release the enzyme outside the cell. They digest the organic matter outside the body, and the digested food outside the body is absorbed inside the cell with the help of the cell membrane and cell wall. So that is all about the nutrition, and bacteria can eat or can digest many complex type of organic matter, so it can survive very easy. Next point is all about the reproduction. This is an important factor. Why important? Because if the type of organism that we are studying is bacteria, if the species of that bacteria want to survive and remain on the earth for a long time or till life is there on the earth, for till that time, if the bacteria and the species of the bacteria want to survive and want the existence for a very long time, then there is need of reproduction, because the lifespan of the bacteria is just few hours to few days. After few days bacteria can die, and if this bacteria is dying, then there is no further existence of the same species. So for that continuous existence of the species, there is a need of reproduction. So bacteria reproduce very fast and they maintain their population and they keep on increasing their population. So mode of reproduction is asexual mostly, and some of the bacteria can carry out sexual reproduction. Okay, but most of the bacteria carry out the asexual type of reproduction, and in this way they can increase their number. So how asexual reproduction is carried out? By binary fission. By binary fission. What is binary fission? Binary fission means single cell divide into two cells. Like this. This is a single cell which divide into two cells. Yeah, this is a binary fission. So this is a parental cell which produces two cells called as binary fission. Binary, bi means two. So one cell we can give rise to two, and these are exact copy of the parental cell. Copy. Exact copy of the parent cell. So that is called as asexual reproduction, binary fission in bacteria. Sexual reproduction by the sexual. Then next is diseases. Yeah, bacteria can cause various type of diseases and infection to the mouth, to the throat, lungs, intestine, skin, eyes, and many of the organs are affected by the bacterial infection. And the bacteria who causes the disease, they are harmful bacteria, and they can be treated with the type of antibiotics and drugs available today. So yes, bacteria can cause diseases and they are of very different types. and the treatment for that, the different type of bacterial diseases, different drugs and different antibiotics. Then the next point is beneficial bacteria. Yes, there are several benefits from the bacteria. Various industries are using different type of bacteria for different purposes, for production of different and very flavored food products and other non-edible products also. Non-edible products in the sense the products which are not eaten, that products are also produced by the bacteria. So certain enzymes, certain medicines, vitamins, and detergent industries, they are using the type of bacteria and bacterial products for various purposes. So yes, there are beneficial bacteria. Also, the intestine of the animals and human being is fully loaded with the beneficial bacteria. They help in the digestion of the food in the intestine, and also they give protection from the harmful bacteria. So that is the use of the bacteria. So your work is now homework. Draw the structure of the bacteria, label it well, write the functions of each and every part of the bacteria in your own language. Then study and write other characters like general information, then size, shape, draw the type of shapes and give the specific names to them, nutrition, reproduction, disease and beneficial bacteria in your own language. Thank you. If you have further doubts, you can ask.